Cathy Engelbert been replaced yet? When will that happen, and will it be important?
He said, when will it happen? Like he knows. Dan Le Batard is talking like he already know it's about to happen. He said, not only why hasn't she been replaced, when will she be? I know it's about to happen.
Why hasn't Cathy Engelbert been replaced? Okay, so it really seems like Cathy Engelbert's job might be in trouble. It's no longer an if, it's a when. Apparently, Dan Leard isn't the only one who believes she's on her way out. The wild part is that it's not just random speculation. We're hearing this from multiple insiders across different parts of the basketball world. It's starting to feel like her time as WNBA commissioner is running out. Oh yeah, this isn't just gossip. This is serious.
It will be very important. I do believe it's coming. I do not believe anything is going to happen until they can get this new CBA ratified, because that's ridiculous to have someone in high-level conversations and then to bail right when we're actually reaching like critical time in the space, I think is asinine. So I don't anticipate any change happening before then, but I do anticipate a change coming.
Elle Duncan is being extremely direct about it. She's not holding back at all. She's talking like it's already decided and lays out why Engelbert is in this spot. And get this, she even compared it to Roger Goodell, which is pretty brutal. Goodell gets booed constantly, right? Fans can't stand him. Players joke about him too.
And I talked to an executive in the NBA just about sort of the precarious situation that she's found herself in. And, you know, I think the issue that they raised for me is that, like, Roger Goodell gets called a lot of names. He's maligned, like, by fans. He gets booed everywhere he goes. And most of that is because everyone believes that he only works for the owners and he's got the owner's interest in mind only, right? So he's in with the owners and he's not in with the players. That's the idea, at least, the narrative that swirls. When it comes to Cathy, she doesn't necessarily have great relationships with the teams or the players. So if you're not, if you're not like currying favor with either side, I just don't know how you survive it. And I watched her, y'all, get booed mercilessly.
But here's where it gets really interesting. Duncan said she spoke with an NBA exec about Engelbert. NBA people are literally discussing the WNBA commissioner's job. And according to that exec, Engelbert doesn't have strong relationships with the teams or the players. Just think about that. She's ended up alienating pretty much everyone. We already knew the players weren't happy, especially with Nafisa Keir leading the push, but now it turns out the owners aren't thrilled either. And that completely flips the narrative. We assumed she was safe because the owners were on her side. Thought they were backing her because she brought in money. Turns out, not really.
WNBA finals when we were in Phoenix, and I think it shocked her. I think it was really off-putting to her to see how she has become the villain in this story. And I think she's done a really good job raising capital throughout the years where it wasn't as easy to raise capital, where we didn't have numbers and metrics to prove that this was a great business strategy. But I also think that, like, the relationship has clearly deteriorated to a place where I don't think it's ever going to be fixed. And if you at least had the owners on your side going, that's our girl and we're going to make sure she stays, but I don't think she has that either. So if you don't have either side, I just don't know how long you're in for this job.
Listen, I watched her get booed at the WNBA finals. It clearly caught her off guard. Caitlin Clark was there, and when Engelbert stepped up to hand out the trophy, the entire crowd just erupted in boos. Apparently, she was genuinely shocked, and that alone shows how out of touch she is with the fans. And on top of that, players have been calling her out for months. Social media has been chaotic. The CBA negotiations have been tense. Yet she still didn't expect the boos. It's like she has no sense of where she actually stands.
Be too fractured at this point, but we'll see. Hammond added. Okay. Now we got to get to this right here. This is where the juicy part is. ESPN's Elle Duncan addresses Cathy Engelbert's future. ESPN analyst Elle Duncan was the guest on a November 18th episode of Dan Le Batard's show and was asked when Engelbert might be replaced as WNBA commissioner. She said, I do believe Engelbert being replaced is coming. I do not believe anything is going to happen until they get a new CBA ratified, because that's ridiculous to have someone in a high-level conversations and then to bail right when we're actually reaching critical time in the space.
But Elle Duncan And get this, and Myers-Drysdale aren't the only ones saying this. Becky Hammon basically echoed the same thing on CNBC back in November. Hammon's the Aces coach. She's not some random commentator. She's got real credibility and deep connections. She actually knows what's going on with the league and the owners. And she said Engelbert's relationship with the players is too far gone to repair. Hammon chose her words carefully, but the message was obvious. Whatever went down behind closed doors caused major damage. Hammon's essentially predicting a leadership change.
Duncan assessed what could be in store for WNBA Commissioner Cathy Engelbert. Now, we have heard before Cathy Engelbert could be on her way out, but they don't want to get rid of her in the middle of the negotiations. It's a lot going on. Get a deal done and then move on from her. That is likely how this thing may play out. Let's get a look at the article. WNBA Commissioner Cathy Engelbert has been subject to a ton of criticism from the women's basketball community, including both fans and players, for quite some time. But these feelings have intensified as a result of the ongoing negotiations of the league's next collective bargaining agreement.
So what exactly did Engelbert supposedly do to spark all this? Well, Nafisa Collier has been hinting at it for a while. She's talked about comments that players felt were disrespectful or dismissive. We still don't have the full story, but Collier isn't backing down. As the president of the Players Union, she's making it clear that, from the players' perspective, things with Engelbert are past the point of repair. They want her out, and they're pushing that idea right into the CBA negotiations. Just think about the leverage here. The CBA is expiring. The league just had a record-setting season. Ratings are way up. Attendance keeps climbing. Money's flowing in. And the players know it. So they're using this moment not only to fight for better pay, but to push for a change at the top, a move they believe they finally have the power to make.
I think it's asinine, so I don't anticipate any change happening before then, but I do anticipate change coming. How you gotta read between the lines, guys. We've had head coaches say they believe she's about to be replaced. We've had players say they believe she's about to be replaced. We have analysts saying she's about to be replaced. And come on, read between the lines, guys. Come on, let's take a listen to this.
The timing of all this is crucial. Duncan pointed out that you just can't fire your lead negotiator in the middle of CBA talks. That would be total chaos. Imagine trying to finalize a massive deal while also searching for a new commissioner, catching them up, rebuilding trust. The league would be stuck. So for now, they need Engelbert to finish the negotiations, seal the deal, and only then can they move on. That's the only scenario that makes sense, and it's what everyone is predicting. Finish the CBA, announce the agreement, and then quietly reveal that Engelbert is stepping down. And it's not just a title we're talking about. This role shapes the entire league, negotiating deals, managing owners, setting the long-term vision. Engelbert stepped in when the league was struggling, and she does deserve credit for that. She brought in sponsors, negotiated media deals, oversaw expansion. But the job itself has changed. The WNBA is growing fast, and the 2024 season proved it. That growth demands a different type of leadership. And according to players, Engelbert isn't the person for this next phase. Even that NBA executive Duncan mentioned agreed, that's a bad combination. You can survive if players can't stand you but owners trust you. You can survive if owners are frustrated but players respect you. But when both sides lose confidence, that's not sustainable. The CBA negotiations have exposed all of this. Prioritization is a major issue. Players want the league to require WNBA athletes to prioritize the WNBA over overseas play. The league hasn't gone that direction because overseas income is still how most players make real money. WNBA salaries just don't compare. But prioritization is symbolic. It's about respect. It's about the league treating itself like a top-tier product. And the way Engelbert reportedly handled this topic rubbed players the wrong way. We don't know exactly what she said behind closed doors, but Collier's comments suggest players felt dismissed. Once you lose the room like that, it's almost impossible to get it back. The WNBPA is unified. You've seen board members signing with Unrivaled, that new 3-on-3 league offering equity. Collier signed with Project B. These aren't random business moves, they're leverage. They're signals that the players have options now. The WNBA isn't the only choice anymore. If the league doesn't meet their demands, they can go elsewhere. That's a massive shift. 5 years ago, the WNBA dictated the terms. Now Unrivaled has real funding. International leagues are paying big money. The power dynamic has flipped. And Engelbert didn't adapt. Look at what happened during the finals. The crowd's reaction wasn't just about the CBA. It was months of frustration, the handling of Caitlin Clark's rookie year, the lack of protection from physical play, inconsistent officiating, messy scheduling. Fans directed all of that anger at Engelbert. Compare that to Adam Silver, who is viewed positively because he communicates well and shows he cares. Roger Goodell gets hated by fans but loved by owners because he protects their interests. Engelbert ended up in the worst possible middle ground. Fans upset, players frustrated, and owners questioning her approach. Leadership in sports isn't about being popular. It's about being effective and maintaining relationships. Engelbert raised money when the league desperately needed it, but she didn't build the relationships necessary to guide the league into its next era. And honestly, she had to realize this moment was coming. Wrong script reference, but it fits. She had to know her approach to the CBA would cause friction. She had to know comments would leak. She had to know how the Clark situation would be viewed. Either she didn't think the fallout would matter, or she underestimated just how much it would damage her standing. And the timing makes everything even more awkward. The WNBA just had its best season ever. Revenue up, attendance up, ratings up, sponsors jumping in, expansion underway. By traditional metrics, her tenure should look like a success. But she's still on the verge of being forced out because she lost the trust of the people who matter most, the players. That's a breakdown in relationship management, plain and simple. And this is going to impact the league even after Engelbert leaves. The next commissioner will inherit a players' union that just helped push out the previous one. That's real power. And the players know it. They'll expect to be heard, taken seriously, and treated like essential stakeholders. Any new commissioner who doesn't get that is going to face the same situation. So now the big question, was Engelbert's approach worth it? Did she accomplish enough to justify the damaged relationships? She secured money and partnerships when the league needed them, but she didn't lay down the foundation of trust for long-term success. The WNBA is entering its most important era, new teams, new media deals, and the biggest audience it's ever had, and it's going to do it with a commissioner starting from zero with the players because Engelbert couldn't adjust her leadership style. So what do you think? Does Engelbert deserve credit for keeping the league afloat, or